What's your ADAT input doing? Nothing? Make the most of it. Introducing the new Focusrite Octoprix Mark II and Octoprix Mark II Dynamic. Two great ways to make the most of your ADAT input. Focusrite, the Mike Pre company.
It's NAMM 2010, it's the second day, it's the first gig of the day, and we're talking to Jim Motley at SSL, and he's going to show us how the most boring box that the company has ever produced actually does something quite interesting.
Well, we try, at least. This year at the NAMM show we're launching X-Patch, which is an analog but digitally controlled patch bay, is the best way of thinking of it. X-Patch allows you to take 16 input signals and 16 output signals and arrange them in any way you want and automatically store and dynamically recall all of your patching.
Sounds good. So is it a straight one-to-one linking, or can you send one input to two outputs simultaneously?
It's not an aggregator or a mixer, so it's a direct link.
Okay.
But devices can be one of three states. They can be an unlinked device, so something like a mic pre that only has an input, or an amplifier for a guitar that only has an output. It can be a linked device, so something like a compressor or an EQ that has an input and an output that you want to work with simultaneously.
Yep.
Or an insert, which is obviously what you connect to your recording console to send your signals in and out. Then you can build chains or individual patches of any of those devices. So if when you have a singer you always use the same mic pre, EQ and dynamics, you can bring that up on any channel with a single click. Now in the setup we have here, we have 8 insert sends and returns from the X desk going to 8 processing devices in the X rack, and we're just doing straight things in and out. But the X-Patch can be configured in any way. So this could be 14 devices connected to 2 inserts, or 12 guitar pedals with 2 amplifiers and a guitar and a bass in on the front. So the flexibility in the box is probably a little more than its very plain looking front panel points out.
Okay.
Also, inputs 1 and 2 and outputs 1 and 2 are mirrored on the front of the box. So if one of your friends come over to the studio or you've hired a piece of equipment for the day, you don't have to crawl around the back of your rack to patch it in, you can just go in on the front.
Sounds good. So does it only patch audio, or can you also patch MIDI signals?
It's only an audio router, although I have had a couple of people asking me about CV signals to make some kind of bad boy analog mashup. And we haven't tried it, but we think it should do it. Watch this space for confirmation.
Okay, thanks for that, Jim. Show us the software, show us how it works.
Well, the browser itself is pretty straightforward. It's very similar to the one on the Matrix. Down the right-hand side of the screen you have your presets, and the left-hand side of the screen you have your chains. In the setup page, this allows you to name your devices, say what state they are, whether they're unlinked devices or inserts, and all of the inputs and outputs can be individually switched between +4 and -10. So it allows you to integrate unbalanced equipment into a balanced setup. It's actually really good as a synth driver.
Sounds great, sounds useful. So when can we buy it, and how much are we going to have to shell out?
Well, it shouldn't be too bad. We kind of have a policy of not making you wait till May for products to get launched at NAMM. An X-Patch will be starting shipping at the end of this month, and it will retail at about £700.
Sounds very attractive. What's that going to be in dollars?
That's $11.99.
Excellent, thanks Jim.
Bye-bye.